both feet behind the head, which I have never attempted before. Such a vulnerable position. If you are planning on putting a foot behind your head, or if you're trying to work on your middle splits, honestly, this is really, really good for your middle splits too. So don't neglect external rotation. Oh, it's funny. You can just use your leg to prop yourself up. Flexibility training, man, is so whack. It's so weird. But doing that sort of thing makes stuff like dragon squats much, much easier. Probably tomorrow or the day after, walking is gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be a literal pain in the butt. So the goal for this video is to get both my feet behind my head, which I've never really done successfully. So maybe today will be the first time. All right, that's left. Fall out of balance here. Oh goodness, how do I do this? Time for raw flexy training. Today's gonna be a little different. Might be a little shorter. I did a whole sprint workout that you guys didn't see, and my poor cameraman, he is going to have to rehabilitate his hamstring. Apparently running sideways, holding equipment, trying to keep somebody in frame is very difficult. But anyway, today we are doing an external rotation day. What the heck does that mean? Well, your hip can rotate internally like this, and when I'm talking about the hip, I'm talking about your femur bone right here. It rotates internally, so like that, it rotates internally. You can see it with my toes. My hip is rotating internally, and it also rotates externally. Today, I'm gonna try and max out my external rotation as much as possible, and I'm going to end up putting my foot behind my head, and that's not a joke. My goal by the end of this video is to see if I can put both feet behind my head. This is a terrible idea, but it should be fun. Anyway, I like to start with active stretches first, just to get that blood flowing. And this is my 90-90 extension. The reason why it's called a 90-90 is 90 degrees roughly, sometimes less than 90. I'm probably gonna make it a little less than 90. And I'm gonna activate the muscles that I'm going to be stretching. I guess they're my internal rotators, because I'm lengthening them through, it doesn't matter. Anyway, here we go. I'm just gonna lift straight up. So I'm activating that. I'm gonna do this for reps. It's such a funny exercise, but man, you feel it right in your glutes, which is exactly where you want to feel it. All right, I'm gonna do the other side. Here we go. Two more. Oh, all right. Oh man, that is such a good warm-up. And the butterfly stretch, by the way, it obviously stretches these inner thighs here, but by maxing it out and pushing the knees out to the side, if your adductors are flexible enough and allow you to do this, you can also stretch those external rotators, which is what I'm doing right now. And I can also bounce into it a little bit. And the reason why I'm bouncing is not because it's difficult to get into the range, but because I'm pushing my feet against the ground, so I'm pushing my body back. And by bouncing into it, it's almost like doing a bicep curl, but not going all the way down. It's like staying in kind of a mid-range. Not excellent for hypertrophy, but it is excellent for getting a bit of a pump going. It's good for a warm-up. Which is exactly what I'm doing for my glutes right now. And if you haven't tried this, you can also do your butterfly stretch at different distances. Your feet can be further away or closer to you. You can even widen them out. And this is just the warm-up, so that's why it's not very structured yet. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go on to my first, I guess, second real exercise, and it is gonna be a pigeon good morning. Typically the pigeon is with a leg that's all the way out behind you like that, but I'm actually gonna go like this, back to that 90-90 position, and I'm gonna simulate the pigeon just by leaning forward and lifting up. The reason why it's called a good morning is because there's a lifting aspect to it. So I'm gonna touch my chest to my leg and lift up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gonna pause at the bottom, but I'm gonna pause above my leg. All right, other side. Here we go. All right, pausing above my leg. This is a really intense active stretch, by the way. Oh, all right. Oh. All right, so to get my foot behind my head, there's several different muscles involved, not just those external rotators. Because if you really focus on this, I'm gonna lift my foot and put it behind my head. These hamstrings are stretching, the external rotators are stretching, my glutes are stretching, all sorts of stuff. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time focusing on these hamstrings, not too much because it's more of a secondary muscle and my hamstrings are plenty flexible enough. But it does not hurt to warm them up a little bit. I'm gonna go to flatter ground. There's a bit of an incline here. I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of helped make those pigeon exercises a bit more difficult than they would have been otherwise, which is a good thing. Harder is better. It's a better stimulus to the muscle. Ah, home sweet home. I've stretched here many times. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do my elephant walks and then I'll do a single hamstring stretch. All right, elephant walks, here we go. I think I'll take this flannel off so you can see a little bit better. My flannel tends to fall down and get in the way. All right, here we go. My hamstrings, by the way, are still a little sore from last raw flexi training. If you missed that, basically what I ended up doing is I thought I was gonna be able to tap my elbow to my toe and that was it, but I was able to hold it for, I don't know, it was 5 or 10 seconds. I don't know, something crazy. For me, that was a elbow to toe PR, so my hamstrings are pretty sore. All right, that's good. I'm gonna do a single leg hamstring stretch on either side. I'm gonna do just a super basic one. I call this one the sprinter stretch, just because you see a lot of sprinters stretching this way. And it's funny because there's a slightly different variation with your back leg like this, and I call this the hurdler stretch because it looks like you're jumping over a hurdler. Anyway, here we go. All right. By the way, when I stretch my hamstring, you'll notice I'm not trying to like reach as far forward as possible. I'm actually trying to pull my foot towards myself and almost bring my head towards my foot. And by doing that, what it does is it doesn't round my spine. It actually flattens out my spine a bit and allows me to go as deep as I can possibly get into that stretch. All right, I'm gonna switch sides. Other side. As you can tell, I'm not really counting, so if it's slightly uneven, it's fine. My goal here is just to stimulate the muscle, so I'm doing it by feeling, not necessarily by numbers, which can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. It can exacerbate imbalances. But all I'm doing right now is I'm just stretching my muscle as a secondary option, or not option, as a secondary just muscle for the foot behind the head. All right, cool. Now let's move on to actually starting to stretch these external rotators a bit deeper. I'm gonna do the full pigeon stretch, but instead of having an upright torso, I'm gonna really press my body down onto my leg and try and flatten out my back as much as possible. So this is the full pigeon right here. Normally I would just hold this right here, but since I'm focusing on the hip, I'm gonna lower myself down and hold this. Right. Not really focusing on the back leg, but it kind of just feels more comfortable for me to keep my back toes on the ground. By the way, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I'm using a different mic right now. DJI versus the Rode wireless mic. So if you've seen the other videos, let me know which mic you like, which one sounds better. All right, I'm gonna go straight over to the other side. Roll this way, just make it a little bit easier for myself. All right. And here we go. I can already see the comments. Somebody is gonna wanna ask about my pants and where they're from. These are just normal Levi jeans. I don't get any special sort of pants or anything like that. And I'm not sponsored, so. A few more seconds. All right. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna walk it off. All right, let's get another set in. I'm gonna do the same exact exercise, but you'll see I'm gonna make it a little bit more intense. So instead of just going straight down, I'm gonna go out and down. So instead of chest and shoulders down to the leg, I'm gonna go out and down. That way it's more like ribs to the leg, which is a much deeper stretch. About halfway done. Oh, straight out to the other side. Oh. Get in position. Now instead of going straight down, I'm gonna stretch out and down. Oh, little difference, but makes a huge difference in intensity in the stretch. Ten more seconds. Oh, all right. Oh, that's really good. I don't know if you noticed, but my back is pretty close to flat. And with my flat back, I'm getting my foot all the way to my chest, which is great, because that means when I actually allow myself to round my back, I'm gonna be able to get my foot way, way further back. So I think I'm actually gonna go straight to that, and we'll see how it looks. But my hat needs to be changed. There, and check, check, 1, 2. I think we're good. All right, here we go. Foot behind the head. I'm gonna start with my left foot. I've been starting with the left side lately. So I'm gonna kind of work into this a little bit. Just kind of get it to where it feels good. Now foot behind the head. Here we go. Man, it's such an awkward position. All right. Oh, I'm gonna go to the other side. Oh, hard to do this with a hat on. Wrong day to wear a hat. But I don't want to take it off either. All right, let's see if I can do this with my mic on. Here we go. All right, we're good. It's funny, I think this side is slightly tighter than my left side. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move my mic. Oh. Yeah, that was pretty intense. I think what I'll do is I'll do that same stretch that I did just now, but I'm gonna do it and try and lay all the way back to the floor, and we'll see what that looks like. By the way, my hair, I'm probably gonna cut it real soon, so don't get too attached. It's very, very long. I'm thinking about either going all the way down to a buzz cut, just because I'm tired of my hair, or maybe I'll get like an actual nice haircut, but we'll see. All right, back to that left foot. Same stretch, but we're gonna go all the way down to the floor. All right, here we go. All right, we are in position. All right. Oh, it's funny, you can just use your leg to prop yourself up. So the goal for this video, like I stated earlier, is to get both my feet behind my head, which I've never really done successfully. So maybe today will be the first time. Oh man. That's funny, leaning back made the stretch much easier. And I don't mean easier difficulty-wise, it was just as, if not a little bit more difficult. But leaning back allowed gravity to pull my head down on my foot a little bit more, and it made it a bit more intense, which is exactly what I wanted. All right, to the right side. I have a suspicion that this side is a little bit tighter than my left side, so let's see how it goes. All right. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Yeah, this side is much tighter for whatever reason. You know what would be funny is if in the footage you could visibly see which leg goes further. And it would make me laugh a lot if this leg was actually further, and that's why it felt more intense. That's happened to me before, where I assume one side is tighter, but it's just because I'm able to stretch it further. Oh man. All right, so that's already like a complete external rotation workout. So I think I just want to walk it a little bit, get it loose. So maybe I'll walk out to the field just to get it moving, and then we'll attempt the skill, which I have never attempted before. Both feet behind the head. Such a vulnerable position. All right, let's go. Man, it's so funny because when you do like the middle splits or the front splits, when you're walking, you can feel how much those stretches affected you. But when you do this, I feel fine. Like I barely even feel it. But I do know that probably tomorrow or the day after, walking is going to be like, oh, it's going to be a literal pain in the butt. Anyway, I'm going to go to the grass here. This is so beautiful. I love this park. All right. Question is, which foot do I put first? Because they're gonna overlap each other, and I don't know which one to do first, so I guess I'll do left first, and then I'll try my right foot. But this is gonna be a very vulnerable, awkward position, so let's see. All right, left first, then the right. I'm just gonna fall backwards because I won't be able to hold my balance. So, nothing left to do but to just do it. There we go. I gotta take my hat off. That's funny, I got so prepped. I was so ready to do it. My hat's in the way. Oh, it's funny. You might notice that I'm like, before I do it, and it's because I'm bracing myself, but I'm bracing myself with the least amount of air in my in my lungs as possible. Because when your air is out, it allows you to compress further. When you're full of air, it's harder to compress down and makes the stretch harder. And since this is the skill portion, I'm trying to make it easier for myself rather than harder. All right, here we go. Whew. All right, that's left. All right, and back. I'm gonna fall out of balance here. Oh goodness, how do I do this? See if you can get a 360 of this. What the heck? Oh man, that's all I got. Man, flexibility training, man, is so whack. It's so weird. But doing that sort of thing makes stuff like dragon squats much, much easier. Which I might as well try a dragon squat right now just to see if I can do it. I remember, my expo leg is my left leg, so I'm going to attempt it on my right leg this time. We'll see if I can even do it. But, so the dragon squat combines your leg strength with that hip external rotation that you can see there. And see, I can't even do it because I fried my external rotation. But it's combining that external rotation. And I can't even do it, so... Oh. But yeah, so that is what I do for my external rotation. If you are planning on putting a foot behind your head, or if you're trying to work on your middle splits, honestly, this is really, really good for your middle splits too. So don't neglect external rotation. Stay flexy.